What is going on, everybody? In this video, we are giving you a state of the market and stock picks for March 29th, 2022. So if you are looking for a channel that does daily and weekly updates to get you prepared for the day and the week ahead, consider subscribing. Now, today in the market was the most interesting day. Something I've been talking about is we need a pullback, but considering the market states, we still are well into a war with Russia and Ukraine. Biden is pushing harder and harder that the U.S. will be taking action on Russia. So that is interesting. While China still floats, are lurking in the weeds, not really knowing where they stand or where they will be going. Again, conflicting information that they are with the West, that they are not with the West. They've been pretty neutral for the most part. So we're going to have to see what is going to happen. Again, the market has had bad news for the first 3 months of the year. So with that being said, any kind of news that is positive will get the market moving. We're getting rate raises. Yes. My first one needed to get out of the way. That was the one that was going to sting the most. The market is used to rate raises, so we have to be well aware of that. And so the market sees a pretty clear picture until May. And that is when the Fed will come back and determine what they're going to do, if they're going to do a double rate hike or where they stand from that point. Now, being said, we are still extremely bullish. We still have a lot of money in the system. People are still getting a lot of tax credits. You got more money coming into the system. The Fed is still buying bonds. And there is nothing really to think that the market is going to come down from this point. Even housing, I know a lot of people are talking about housing crashing and everything else. People talking about crashes. I heard people talking about flash crashes. Ultimately, the market is healthy. The market had a really good correction in the beginning of the year. The market is not what is going on in the world. And so we are starting to push up. And that's pretty much where we are. We don't have anything in the foreseeable future that can affect the market. And that is very positive. Even is kind of crappy as the market has been, because it's been pretty choppy on the way up. I expected it to be choppy on the way up. But we have to see, and we have to see what each and every day brings, because the market always likes to introduce something new. So looking at this technical wise, again, I expected some sort of pullback. We're obviously not getting that. Normally you would like at least a 38% pullback. We got barely, that might even just be the 10% pullback at that point. There wasn't really much of a pullback at all. When you start looking at Fibonacci levels on SPX, we continue to break support. We have another big support here, seeing at 45.96. Now this will be a big support tomorrow. We're going to be hitting. Is this where we're going to pull back after this? Very well could, and then play this range. Possibly back down to the 44.78 mark. Could be a strong possibility. Again, every resistance we break through, we want to retest. We did do a retest there, although I thought we would have had a little bit of a better retest down here. But when you have a big wedge like this, and then you get some positive sentiment, it's obviously enough to push us up pretty high and then to keep rolling. So still waiting for a pullback. We do have earnings coming up. We may be trying to capture some of that earnings in some of these, like your Teslas, back at 1,000 again. And so that's something to consider. That being said, the market, again, it's hard to depict, and this is why I think every day you have to take it day by day. Things look clear. Market's continuing up. We're going to have to wait. And I don't believe in shorting any part of this market. I know a lot of people are taking hedges in this market. It's a good, strong possibility if you are investing. I really don't think there is much fear left in the system. People are purchasing stock because of inflation to essentially protect against inflation. So institutions are buying because of this fact. And so I think that's why it is causing this move. It could be, it could not be, but the market is extremely strong. We did have some news about essentially some of the people that are in peace talks, Ukraine and Russia, that ultimately people were getting poisoned, only to find out later that they weren't actually getting poisoned. It was something to do with the environment that was causing them to get sick. So you had that little bit to scare them this morning. It sold the market off a little bit, enough for it to start pushing towards the end of the day. Then you got Biden coming on talking about the deficit and how his administration's going to get us out of 1 point something trillion in deficit. So now you're getting more positive news as opposed to negative news. And considering we've had so much negative news, the positive news is really going to make us run. But really watching that level tomorrow, and again seeing if we get rejected there. Again, first attempt will reject a time, and then from that point we need to see how far back we actually pull back. Bitcoin itself, another big hedge here. We finally broke out of that range, kind of looking for a retest, maybe around the 47 mark, and then continue back up to 50 is what I'm looking at. So I do really like Bitcoin going into this weekend. I think is going to make a massive push going in the weekend. Like I said, it normally does make its massive run going into the weekend. So looking for that. As far as tomorrow goes for stock picks, I am really watching UPST. I debated taking this at the 102 mark today. It started pushing up. We do have a wedge break, so I want to see if this might actually gap overnight, but want to be watching this one. Want to be watching SHOP. There's something I'll talk about. It's been in this big consolidation here. I want to see what it does. I think once it does break out of this, it's really going to start gaining some traction. And if we can get a wedge break above that 720, if we can make it back across that 720, I think we could really start ripping back up to 800. So I'm really keeping this one on tight watch. I think it will do really well. One I've been calling out multiple times, had a massive day today, is AMC today. Again, I'm looking for this to possibly come back and retest some of these levels. This 200 level, I think, would be impressive if it does come back and retest that and hold that. I think AMC could get a huge squeeze again. That's what we saw here. We saw a big, huge squeeze. Looking for this again tomorrow. GME, I don't like to play as much, but also had a massive move. And then another one I want to watch is MU has earnings. So watching this, essentially that 80 mark tomorrow. If we can break above that, I think we can do really well. So I want to watch that going into earnings. More focused on the continuation of this going into Wednesday. But I might actually take a play going to earnings. I don't typically do that, but considering all the chips have done extremely well, MU I think is one of those that will do extremely well. And if the market is very healthy, I think it could make a massive move coming into tomorrow and make up some of that big hit it's taken to this point already. A lot of people see it as being very undervalued, so I'm kind of watching that play tomorrow as well. Roblox, looks like we've got a break and a retest here. This might actually gap up, but kind of watching that 47 mark. If we can hold the 47 mark, which it looks like we are, I want to look into taking a position in this as well. As long as it holds at 47, if it does, I would definitely cut it. With this going into earnings, you can easily make it back to 53. I know I was talking about 72 could be a strong possibility. I think at this point, we might play range with Roblox. Roblox normally gets a lot of volume in it when the rest of big tech starts to sell. It normally has that rotation, so that's something to watch. SQ, not so much. Coin, I really like. As long as it can hold this, the 200 mark now, we are back over 200. If we can hold the 200, I think it can continue on to make some more of another massive push here. So really keeping that one on his watch as well. But that's pretty much it. I'm making a short video here today. I wasn't going to make a video today, but I wanted to get on and kind of give you just a little bit of the sentiments. I know right now there's nothing really new, and I haven't really been playing anything new. Just watching some of the ones that have momentum and trying to keep with those ones with momentum, your Teslas and stuff like that. Have nice moves in the morning, and then after that, they continue to they've been dying out, and that's why I've been kind of concerned about waiting to see what happens with it, because I'm expecting a pullback, and I don't want to take a position that's at a high right now when I feel like there is a pullback that could be coming. So if you've made it this far, go ahead and drop a like. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.